People all over the world each year consume and eat a lot of livestock meat. According to Food and Agriculture Organization in 2017, average worldwide meat consumption was around 30 kilograms per person. That is about 210 billion kilograms of meat consumption worldwide. North America had the highest meat consumption per capita in 2017 with approximately 95 kilograms, and European Union stood on the second place with around 70 kilograms of meat consumption. Moreover, the Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that the meat consumption will grow steadily by 2027, especially in developing countries, which will expect it to be 21% higher than 2017. Considering that world population will be more than 8 billion people by the year 2027, worldwide meat consumption will be even higher, which will be alarming. Supplying the demand for the livestock market requires acres of the world's cropland. This requirement has had a negative impact on Earth's environment. According to Worldwide Fund for Nature, the high demand for meat has put lots of pressure on Earth's capacity and potential to feed animals that would in the end become the meat for people to consume. Soy is the main food source for the cows, chickens and pigs. If global demand for meat grows as expected, the reports say soy production would need to increase by nearly 80% by 2050. This leads to scarcity of water and land, and also causing greenhouse gas emissions to increase. Moreover, the world is consuming more animal protein than it needs, and this is having a devastating effect on wildlife, so much that a staggering 60% of global biodiversity loss is down to the food we eat. There has been a storm of new startups to create what is called lab-made meat, also known as clean meat and cultured meat. These names all imply the same thing, which is to create and grow meat without an animal getting killed, and also to conserve the environment. But how the cultured meat is being made in a lab? According to Uma Valeti, the CEO of Memphis Meats, the process to make the meat involves taking tiny meat cells from an animal via a painless biopsy or sample. These are then fed nutrients which enables the cells to grow, and they eventually turn into edible meat. The company is developing a method that would allow the cells to self-renew indefinitely, meaning after the initial cells are obtained, scientists wouldn't need to return to the animal for subsequent samples. The company's goal is to entirely remove the animal from the meat production process. Memphis Meats is going to offer the meat to the market in 2021. However, there are some concerns for people about how the cultured meat is made and what are its ingredients compared to meat that comes from animals, and also how much the lab-made meat would cost. When it comes to food, humans always have very different tastes and opinions. People usually like to eat healthy and would always look at a food and meat package to see whether or not they like what they are purchasing. People look at how much calorie a particular product has and also examine and inspect the ingredients of the product. Therefore, humans are always worried about what they consume, and that is very ordinary that people react to this technological shift in process of making meat. Humans have been eating traditional meat since 2.6 million years ago, so this dramatic change in method of creating meat will take some time to be accepted and approved by the societies. There is, however, percentage of people who would like to know how the lab-made meat does taste. It turns out that the taste will not be that different from the traditional meat, because the biotech firm Memphis Meats produced poultry meat that tastes as good as traditional ones, according to a connoisseur from the Good Food Institute. The duck meat produced in lab was very delicious, juicy and tender. According to a research by a scientific journal called PLOS ONE, 65% of 673 surveyed US individuals would probably or definitely try cultured meat, while only 8.5% said they definitely would not. Although these numbers are small, but there are bigger evidence that people are supporting the lab-made meat by crowdfunding the biotech startups. Regarding the cultured meat's price, people think that the cost will be so high that they cannot afford the meat, but that is not the case. When the first lab-made burger was made in 2013, its price was $325,000. However, after just 2 years, in 2015, the same burger costed $11. The Israel-based startup Future Meat Technologies aims to begin selling its first products later this year. The startup's costs are still very high, around $363 for 500 grams of meat, but it believes that it can cut the cost of cellular agriculture to about $2.30 to $4.50 for 500 grams of the meat by 2020. Lab-made meat will eventually become the future of the meat we consume, because on one hand, having the meat being made in lab will save us lots of lands and pastures, and also will help to decrease greenhouse gas emissions, which in the end results in saving the environment. On the other hand, many animals' lives would be saved. I believe that people will be more than happy to eat a food that is provided in a way in which no animal is harmed and killed.